this is the anterior, okay, surface of the heart. Okay, so I want you to note that the anterior surface of the heart has this angled interventricular sulcus. You have blood vessels inside that sulcus, your coronary vessels. Remember the coronary, the anterior interventricular artery is right there. But we can take it out, but we haven't dissected it out, so you could see it, but it's in there. And the great vein is in there as well. And then this divides basically the space for the right ventricle and the left ventricle. So notice the apex is where the left ventricle is going to be. So the left ventricle is going to be inside here, right ventricle is inside here. Okay, this is your left auricle, so that's going to be your left atrium in here, and this is your right auricle, so your right atrium is in here. Okay, this structure that I left a little bit of is the pericardium. Okay, the pericardium, it has a lot of fat on it actually, but I took off a little bit of the fat as we were dissecting. Okay, on the anterior surface of the heart, you will also see a blood vessel that comes off. It was just this one right here. Okay, I did cut it a little bit so we can see inside, but this is your pulmonary trunk. And if you cut the pulmonary trunk right where it meets the muscle, you get to see the pulmonary semilunar valve, which is right there. So that's the little flap. So you see right there, pulmonary semilunar valve. Okay, so you can see the little flaps. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, that's your pulmonary semilunar valve. It's really the only way to see it, because when we cut it, we won't see it. Okay, this is the pulmonary trunk here. So this is your aorta right here. And your aorta has two vessels that come off of it. This is the longer one, the brachiocephalic trunk, which has its 3 branches. We'll look at them from the inside. And then this is the left subclavian. This would be the rest of it that was hanging off here. But again, I trimmed that off. Okay, the superior vena cava is right here. Okay, so you can see that. Notice, I want you to notice how thin the superior vena cava is in relation to the aorta. So you can see how thick that is. You can see how hard that is. And then this is just like floppy. Okay, so this is your superior vena cava right here. And then this is your inferior vena cava right here, which they cut off really short. Okay. All right. Then what we did now was we decided to cut the heart from the right-hand side and open it up like a book. Okay. So what we get is we get the view inside where we have the left ventricle here. This is half of it, and the other half of the left ventricle here. Notice the apex. Yes. Left ventricle, apex. Left ventricle, apex. Right ventricle, no apex. Okay. Notice also the size of the wall. Thinner wall, thicker wall. Okay. The left ventricle always has a thicker wall. This is the interventricular septum right here. Okay. So now that you know this is the left ventricle, okay, that's where you use your point of reference, just the apex. This is your left ventricle. This is going to be your mitral valve. You can see this is your left AV valve, right? The one that separates the atria from the ventricle. So this is your mitral valve. You can see the chordae tendineae on your mitral valve, which is attached to the papillary muscle. Okay, same thing on this side, another papillary muscle with chordae tendineae. That's the other half of the mitral valve. Okay, then this is your left atrium. A little bit of it here, but mostly this is just the auricle. Okay, so this is the actual spaces right there. Okay, this is your left ventricle, and so is this. Yes, so right here you see this goes up. This is right part of your aorta that I cut right through, but this is great because on this side is the rest of it where you can see the aortic semilunar valve. So this is the rest of the aorta. It's a little bit of it there. The rest of it is right here. And this is your aorta. So you can see the aorta curves out this way, right, because we opened it up. And this is the brachiocephalic trunk and the left subclavian. Okay? Brachiocephalic trunk then splits off into the right subclavian, right common carotid, and left common carotid, which you'll see very clearly when you look at it from the outside, that it's going in those directions. Not that you have to identify the branches off of it, but you could even see it on there, which I think is kind of cool. All right, now, your left atrium and your right atrium, this is your right ventricle, so this would be your tricuspid valve, right, your right AV valve. This is your right atrium. Your right atrium is actually quite large, right, because it's receiving all of this blood, but it has a structure on it that's like columns like this. This is the muscular structure, which is called pectinate muscle. Pectinate muscle is found in the right atrium and it's found in the auricles. See, this is the auricle back here, in the auricles in the right and left, okay? Right and left, atrial auricles, okay? So you can see that pectinate muscle, okay? So again, this is your tricuspid valve. You can see some of the chordae tendineae there, some of the chordae tendineae here. This kind of spongy structure, this is blood. So you can see how that just comes right off, okay?
Coagulated blood?
Yeah. And mixed with formaldehyde.
Okay.
That's why if it was just blood, it would be brown. So that's mixed with.
Formaldehyde is from the liquid?
Yeah, that's the liquid that it's preserved in. All right. So then you can see the pectinate muscle here. You can see the chordae tendineae coming off of that. Okay. So all right. So let's just review that really quick. Okay. You have the right atrium, right AV valve, also called tricuspid, right ventricle, interventricular septum, left ventricle, which we know because this is the apex. Okay, this is your left AV valve, also called your mitral valve, and this is, or bicuspid. You can call them any one. I know all of them. Okay, and then this is your left atrium. Okay, here is the better view of your aortic semilunar valve, and this is your aorta. Okay, this opening right here is actually your pulmonary trunk. So you can see your pulmonary trunk right next to it. Okay, you can't really see the superior vena cava, but it's right here. It's a little bit flat. You just got to pull it up right there, and that's your superior vena cava. And look how that goes right into the atrium. Do you see that? With my finger. Okay. I think that's it.
Trabeculosis carne.
Oh, the trabeculae carne. In the ventricles, the structure of the wall of the ventricles is kind of branched, sort of. You see it, it's like ridgy and branched. A little bit different than the pectinate. Okay, that's called trabeculae carne. Thank you for reminding me. Trabeculae carne.
The structure?
Yeah, the actual muscle of the ventricle wall.
Okay.
Yep. It's trabeculae carne, the actual muscle. And then it's the same thing in the left ventricle. You just really can't see it because the papillary muscle is ginormous. Papillary muscle is kind of blocking the view of it, but it's also in both ventricles. Okay, so you can see maybe a little bit of it down here. All right, so you got any questions? That's a good one. Very cool. I think I went over everything.
What is it called again?
This is the auricle.
Oracle.
Yes,
That's
this
on
is the left auricle, and this is the right auricle.
Standing for right ventricle down.
Yes. So this is going to be the atrias right behind it.
Okay.
And then this is going to separate the right ventricle is in here, the left ventricle is in here. Okay. So if you look at it where my finger is, you can probably get your finger over there. See?
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Okay, so that's all right ventricle. This is right ventricle. You see? Through there. And then,
Push my finger.
huh?
Oh, I said, I wish they gave us gloves so I can push my finger in for the midterm.
Oh. Yes. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
But it'll look like this. It'll probably be this hard since this is one of the good ones. Because it'll make me set it up myself, so.